center, Lauren Betts. Betts knocks it down off the window. When she catches it that deep with 2 feet in the paint and buries her defender in the cylinder, you got no chance. UCLA stuffs it. The shot blocker is there. A dominant force on both sides of the ball. Betts to the right hand. Not many players have an All-American on the block like Lauren Betts. UCLA is going back to the Final Four. I'm sweaty.
Okay, we're gonna genuinely get to that.
All right.
It's funny when
Let's just join our player for UCLA women's basketball team. For UCLA is Lauren Betts, because she's heading to her second straight Final Four appearance like she did last season ago. And so hopefully her team make it to the national championship, hopefully. Let's listen in.
I'm so excited for our team. This is such a cool opportunity, and to be back, I feel like we kind of know what we're walking into now. But I mean, just to get here is like, such a big accomplishment, and we worked so hard all season. So just so proud of these girls.
And obviously, the goal is to win a championship. That's what the goal was when the season started. But if you do that, you have an opportunity to avenge your only loss of the season against Texas. So you can win it, but you got to get another W to make that happen. Your thoughts going into the rematch based on the team you guys have been since then?
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams have grown so much since that game, so I'm really excited for another chance to compete and go 1-0. But yeah, like you said, Texas is our only loss, and we've learned so much since then. So just really excited to, have learned from that and, take all of our growth into this game. But yeah, just really excited. It's going to be a good opportunity for us to show all that we've worked on.
And obviously your team looks a lot different than it was when we saw you in that first game against Texas. But also, if you look back to this point a season ago, you were in the Final Four. You took on a UConn team. That game did not go well for you. So when you look at those sort of 2 key losses for you in the last year, what are some takeaways from that have really motivated you to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just coming out with this sense of like urgency, understanding the moment and like whatever everyone needs to do individually to get their minds right, to just go out and compete from the very beginning. That's what we're going to do. When we get to this level, you have to play really hard for 40 minutes, and there's no time to, forget the scout or to forget little details. Like, you have to be really mentally locked in. So I think that's the biggest thing that we've learned, and I'm just really excited to see, how we learn from that. But yeah, we've gotten so much better since then.
One of the cool things from a fan standpoint, Lauren, is been watching your family go along this journey with you as well. I mean, it's hard to miss your dad at 7'1", being on the sidelines.
Right.
And people always assume that your basketball acumen comes from him because he played professionally and things of that nature. But it was your mom that actually has a national championship in the house.
Bragging rights.
She's got the banner, right? So for you, not only playing for your own national championship, but bragging rights within your own family, right?
Yeah, I know. She's really got me beat. And, she's super humble and she never really talks about it. But, she's amazing. We always like to brag because she had, the first kill of the national championship game. So that's, her biggest thing that she always mentions. But, she's a queen. And, yeah, we get a lot of, our competitive fire from my mom. She's very, down to earth when you meet her. But anytime you step on a court with her, you can tell, that's where Lauren and Sienna get it. It's from the mom.
Okay, because that's funny because you were like, oh, she's very humble. But you can still be humble and talk a lot of trash.
Do that.
You can still be humble
sure.
and be really competitive. So
UCLA seeking first women's
mom
basketball
or
national
dad, who's
title.
more competitive?
I hope her team does.
Oh, that's really tough because they're both bad. Really bad. My dad is competitive about life. Maybe my dad, because my dad is competitive with just anything in general. So I don't even really try to get into it with them because I'm like, whatever, you're just going to keep going for hours and hours. But I would say my mom in terms of sports, yes, my mom for sure.
Who is the bigger trash talker?
Ooh, probably my dad.
Okay. So it sounds like you got a pretty good blend of both. And I say it's been inspiring, I'm sure, for a lot of young basketball players out there to watch you play and how you handle yourself. But also, Lauren, recently, you shared something that's very personal, Players Tribune, about your battle with depression, which also could be inspiring to so many people. Why did you feel like this was the time to share that publicly?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always really amazing for little girls, and especially like in the sports world, to have someone that they can look up to and, read about, that they, with someone who's gone through maybe the same thing they have. And I just want to make sure that everyone feels like, they're seen and they're heard and they have someone to look up to. And I feel like it was nice for me to kind of share the growth that I've had since my sophomore year. And I think like just to see the reactions from everybody and how, so many people felt the same way as I have at some point, I think that validates, why I did it. And it's really just, to say that like us athletes, we're not just people who play basketball and, play the sport. It's, we're real people and we deal with real life things. And I wanted to use my platform to spread awareness around mental health, especially in the sports space.
In terms of the reaction and the response, what has surprised you the most and from whom?
Man, I honestly think, I try not to look at like my DMs often, but I think to see and hear from like other athletes who I may not have like spoken to, but they reach out to me and they're like, hey, like I read your article and it meant a lot to me. And I'm like, wow, like this is someone that, I looked at as like, oh my gosh, they might have all their stuff together, but like, you really don't know what someone's going through. And I think that's like the really cool part about this is that, you realize that a lot of people are dealing with their own things, but they just may not talk about it, which is why I felt like, oh, well, maybe if I speak out, it'll get more people to feel, comfortable, dealing with that.
Lauren, what role has basketball played in either maybe causing the depression or helping you get through it?
I think basketball is giving me a sense of confidence, especially growing up the way I did, being tall and having to deal with all of that growing up. I think, basketball gave me a sense of like, wow, like, I can be tall, but I can own it. And it's taken me so far and it's helped me with so many things. And basketball has changed my life for the better. And it's given me this platform that I have today. And it's, it's made my dreams come true of the amount of things that I've done because of basketball and who I am. So, I think through all the hard, it's all been worth it at the end of the day.
The concept of finding your own voice or truly feeling comfortable in your own skin is honestly, it's a lifelong journey. But there are points in your life when you look back and you're like, yes, I remember feeling okay at this moment. Do you feel like there was a moment for you where it finally clicked and you said, yes, this is me and I'm proud to be this person?
Honestly, I feel like last year was like my biggest like breakout moment. I feel like obviously I went through everything I did my sophomore year, and then I think going into my junior year, I was just like, I am who I am, and I played with a different sense of like confidence, just because I was just so light and I played so freely, and I wasn't letting the outside world get to me as much. And I feel like when you play like that, when you live like that, it just changes your life. And so I feel like, my mental health and the way I carry myself has just been improving so much since last year.
Let's get to something a little bit lighter, almost quite literally.
So light.
Like confetti. This is truly one of my favorite moments from the weekend, watching you like navigate. One, it's your sister who is really instigating all of this.
No, she's gonna be involved.
Two,
exactly.
Like watching you navigate the interview and like the sweat and it's sticking. Like, what was going through your mind as all of this is happening?
Just like trying to get through the questions. Like I'm trying to answer. I'm like, mind you, I'm on television,
yes.
So I'm trying to answer the questions, but like I can feel all the confetti on my face and it's in my mouth at some point, and I'm like, guys, like please try to help me out. And my teammates, of course, they're just never.
No,
Lauren. They're entertaining.
They don't care. They don't care.
They had no care for that. Well, I will say this, though. Watching this moment is an example of seemingly how tight-knit you guys are and how much you enjoy being around each other. Now, you're in the middle of a road trip, and very important road trip. But as you know, sometimes road trips are basically like a traveling party, right?
Yeah.
So we want some insight into you and your teammates with some party-related questions, okay? So if we're on a road trip or we're putting together a party, who's going to be in charge of the music?
Me.
Ooh, why is that?
Yeah, what are you playing?
I'm on aux for everything. Okay. Like I play a variety, and I think it's because I play a variety of music. Like I don't stick to one thing. It's like, I play everything. So at some point, everybody will be dancing. Okay. And that's all that matters.
That's a good DJ right there. That's a good DJ.
That is a good DJ.
Exactly.
Appealing to everyone.
Yes.
Who has the best snacks and what are they?
Ooh, I would say maybe the freshmen, Slizzy. Like they always have really good snacks. I went to their apartment recently and like they always have good food. Probably like Sienna always has the green grapes, and then like you'll get some healthy with Crizzy, and then Lena will just be like chips and like cookies, and yeah, like the three of them are really good.
Leave it up to the freshmen.
Exactly.
All the sugar. All right, so let's say we break out some board games, or some type of games. Who's going to be the most competitive?
Angela, no question.
She said that with the quick.
She didn't even have to think.
Angela.
But like, give us an example of a moment where you're like, damn, girl, chill out.
Oh my God, this is every day for Angela. Like we always like tell her she needs to take a chill pill because she's just hilarious. But I mean, I think when it comes to board games, like Angela is known to be like the biggest competitor. At some point, like people just don't want to play because they're like, oh, I don't even want to get into it with her.
For keeps.
But she takes it so seriously. Like she wants to win so bad, and you see it on the court. I mean, she's just like a competitor.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's maybe how your dad is when he plays board games.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it may be how I am, so I relate to that. Just
all right. How about this? All right, here's the last one. Who's guaranteed to be late to the party? Who's going to be the last person to show up?
Charlize Ledger Walker.
Why? Because she got to get the fit right. Like why is she always late?
Because she's old. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's gonna see this and kill me. No, because she has to get the fit right. That's a good one. She does always have to get the fit right, and like she's one of those people that like she'd much rather just lay in her bed for the whole night and like put on a movie and like wear a face mask. And I'm like, Char, please join us. Like it's gonna be so fun. So I'm like the one that has to drag her out of bed.
All right, I saw the nails for a second. I saw the nail color. What's the nail inspo this week? What do we got going on?
Honestly, I just went with like a cute little color combo. I was like, I told my nail artist, I was like, I just honestly went on Pinterest, if I'm being completely honest. Pinterest, yes. And I just found a photo, and this is the first thing I saw. So,
Pinterest and Instagram, that's how every time I go into a nail appointment, I'm like, what am I going to do this?
So is that what we're going to rock for the game Friday, or will we have a new one by Friday?
These are the nails for the whole trip. Okay. Yes, these very exciting.
Championship nails.
So, championship nails right here. Exactly.
There we go. Lauren, thank you so much for your time. Good luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see her team in Final Four this Friday. Will face against the Longhorns for the first time in the program history.